Hi guys, this is Zero Budget Geek and welcome to this hero guide for Sentinels of the Multiverse. Today we're going to take a look at Bunker. Bunker is a pretty basic character to use, maybe not so much for a beginner, but after you've played like a game you can pretty much jump into this guy because he has a couple quirks that make him not so straightforward. So let's take a look at him real quick here. Let's look at his basic power. His basic power is to draw a card. It's called Initialize, and the reason this power is important for him is that Bunker requires a lot of equipment cards to be in play for him to be effective. He is really good as a tank. He can take a lot of damage and dish it out, but he needs a few turns to get set up before he can do that. And one of the things that makes him do that, one of his quirks and what makes him a little bit more difficult for a beginner player to use, is his mode cards. So we're going to take a look at those right now. So we have his recharge mode card. When he has this card in play, he cannot have any other modes, and he will not be able to play cards or use his powers, but he'll be able to draw additional cards on your turn. So this is a good card to start off with because you'll be able to draw a lot of cards, so you can set yourself up. And then after you've got a few cards in your hand, then you want to go up to his upgrade mode, where this card will let you play additional cards during your turn, but you will not be able to use powers. But all those cards that you got with the recharge mode, you'll be able to kind of shoot them out now and put them into play relatively quickly. And then once you have a bunch of cards in play, you want to probably switch over to turret mode, which will let you won't be able to play cards or draw cards, but the cards that you have out, you'll be able to use additional powers on your turn, and anything that does damage will be increased by 1. So this is sort of the last piece of the puzzle for Bunker. So let's take a look at his other cards and we'll see what we're working with. Adhesive Foam Grenade is one of the few cards that he has. Actually, it's the only card that he has to deal with environment cards, but it's a very good team card. When you play this card, the environment cannot play a card on its next turn, and it seems like it's not a lot, but it can be very, very valuable. Environments more often than not have bad effects for the heroes, so having the environment not play a card on a given turn, it's usually better than not. So great card there. I like to use that card pretty early in the game if I get it, just to give time to set up. Alright, we have Ammo Drop, another very important card for Bunker. Get this card out as soon as you can, because anytime a villain card is destroyed, especially like little minions, Bunker will be able to draw a card. And as we know, drawing cards with Bunker, well, really with any hero, but especially with Bunker, it's very important to draw as many cards as possible. So get that Ammo Drop out. Auxiliary Power Source. This is a very overlooked card for Bunker. Now, its first ability at the start of the turn, you may destroy this card to use an additional power this turn. That's not that great. That's not really why you want this card. You want this card for its actual power, where you can destroy this card and draw 3 cards. Again, very useful in a pinch, though. You may want to use your recharge mode or your ammo drop instead, but if you don't get either of those, this is a good alternative. Let's see here, and then we skip the card there. Decommission Hardware, again, another overlooked card. Often I see people, when they have to discard a card, they discard this. Don't do this. This card here lets you use your discard power as almost an extension of your hand. So if you have to discard cards and you have one of these cards in your hand, discard an equipment card, and then you'll be able to get that equipment card back later when you want with this card, and you'll be able to put it directly into play. So you know, you could look at this card as a stand-in for any of your other equipment, as long as it's in the trash. Alright, next card here, External Combustion, if I can speak English today. This is Bunker's mass damage card, and it's a very, very powerful and a very good one. He deals 2 fire damage to himself, and he does 3 fire damage to pretty much everything else. Very useful card because of it. Not only does massive damage, but it does fire damage, which is important because one of Bunker's weaknesses is that most of his cards do projectile damage, and if you get something that becomes immune to it or reduces that, you can get into trouble. So this will give him another damage type to be able to do. Alright, Flat Cannon. Basically his staple attack card. Put this card out and you'll be able to do 3 damage to one target. When you have turret mode out or anything that buffs it up, it becomes very, very powerful. You know, staple card to get out there. Put it out as quick as you can. Gatling Gun. Not quite as staple as the Flat Cannon, but a very good card. At the start of your turn, you automatically do 2 damage to one target. But at the end of your turn, you must discard a card or you will lose this card, so you gotta keep feeding it ammo. Only useful if you have a lot of cards in your hand that you can spare. Drop some equipment and get them back with decommissioned hardware. That's one trick you can do. But you know, you gotta be a little careful with this because you do have to discard cards for it. Grenade Launcher, along with the Flat Cannon, his other staple card. You're gonna use one over the other depending on the you know, the situation, but the Grenade Launcher is a good way for him to deal damage to multiple targets without hurting himself or the other heroes. Put this out and, you know, just blast them. Alright, Heavy Plating. You want to get this card, you know, probably one of the first cards you want to play even before putting out your attack cards, because you want to get your defense up as soon as possible. It reduces damage that he deals by 1. May not sound like a lot, but some villains only, you know, may only do 1 or 2 points of damage, and cutting that in half or negating it completely can be very, very useful. So Heavy Plating, get it out there. Maintenance Unit. A lot of people overlook this card. I love this card. I will always put this out. One of my favorite tricks, you know, that you can do very early in the game is get the Maintenance Unit out and either the Flat Cannon or Grenade Launcher and throw out a turret mode, and you'll be able to heal and attack in the same round. And that alone is very possible. In fact, you know, check the annotations. I linked to a video where I do just that. And you can see pretty much I do that for the entire game, and along with the other heroes we win. Omni Cannon. This is Bunker's most powerful card, and you know, it takes some time to set up, and sometimes people get rid of this card. They don't understand it. It is his most powerful card. Don't get rid of this. With this card, at the beginning of your turn, you can put up to 3 cards from your hand underneath this card. If you've done your job and drew a lot of cards, you have a bunch of extras to throw in here, and then you can destroy all those cards to do double the amount of cards in damage. So if you store 3 cards, you'll be able to do 6 damage with this card. Think about it, if you do it for, you know, a couple turns, 3 turns, you put 9 cards in here, that's 18 damage. Nothing to sneeze at. Very powerful card, and you can pretty much, you know, after you use this card, it doesn't go away. You can start recharging again. So that's his big kill shot. And we went over his different modes here. So Bunker, very, very good character, underrated by a lot of players because he's just not that exciting to look at. He just like looks like just a big robot, but he can be very powerful, very useful addition to the team. Just remember his weaknesses are his reliance on equipment. Most of his damage is projectile damage, so you got to beware of things that make him immune. And again, 2 huge weaknesses for him is that he cannot destroy environment cards or ongoing cards, so you're gonna need to pair him up with heroes that can take care of those things, because remember, the only thing that he has to deal with environment is that adhesive foam grenade, which is, you know, it's okay, but you know, all that's gonna do is buy you time. So that's Bunker. Thank you for watching this video. Check the annotations if you want to see this character in action, because I play with him fairly often, and I'll link to those videos. So again, thank you for watching this video with me, and you guys have a great day.